They were in a bad time. Well, do you guys, I don't know if I actually said this. The bad situation that they were in and what Habakkuk saw coming was the... Now, I'm going to use some words here that are people from history, but there was a group of people called the Babylonians. Kind of a crazy reign of time. And these people, they conquered everything. They really covered a lot of land. And they had already taken over a good chunk of God's people. Basically, like, probably tens of thousands of people would have been dispersed along the Babylonian kingdom, kind of in a sense of like slavery or like indentured servants. Like they were taken over by a country, and now they're going to be working for that country. Now, not slavery like we view slavery, because these people, they wanted them to last, and so they were kind of under the rule of another country, basically. Well, the Babylonians actually kind of imploded from within. If you ever have like spare time, Google it or watch a YouTube video on the reign of the Babylonians or something. Does anybody have any history buffs in the room? Does anybody know like who came on the scene after the Babylonians? Who?
The Romans.
Yeah.
The Medes and the Persians?
The Medes and the Persians, absolutely.
Was that right or wrong? Oh, you're right. They said yeah when I said Roman.
Is anybody turned to Ezra? I'm just actually still not there.
I am.
Where are you? Does anybody see the opening line in there? Absolutely. Do you guys see that? What's it say?
In the first year of Cyrus, king of Persia.
Exactly. So, what happened was the Babylonians, the word fizzled out, it wouldn't be justice. Like, they kind of imploded, and then Persia kind of just took advantage of it. And they came on. Did you know that just from your head? Or did you read ahead and say, I've read Ezra, so Dave should be saying this, right? All right. You just knew.
I've been reading through the Old Testament, and I've been reading how Babylon takes over Assyria, and then they take over Babylon. I just read that.
That's
in
right.
The chronological Bible.
Awesome. That's cool. You know what? Because my mind, I'm trying to put all these pins on the dot because it's interesting because I just read Habakkuk, and Habakkuk is about the prophetic predicting of the Babylonians destroying Jerusalem. So that's that's Jeremiah and Habakkuk. But now this is 50 years later when Babylonia, that world, the people that took over God's people is now being destroyed. And here's what happens. What do you think would happen if the people that took you over just got destroyed and now basically somebody else is in charge?
Don't go with them everything.
Something crazy happens. Like something beyond your comprehension. I'm still not turned there. Can I have somebody's Bible? Thanks. Okay. Dude, I can't use your Bible. That's an NIV. I don't want to use that one either. Give me my New Testament. That's my Bible. I'm sorry. I gave him my Bible. I have this turned to another page that I want to be at later. So, in the first year of Cyrus, king of Persia, this is chapter 1, that the word of the Lord by the mouth of Jeremiah might be fulfilled. The Lord stirred up the spirit of Cyrus, king of Persia, so that he made a proclamation throughout all the kingdom and also put it in writing. And that proclamation is now here in Ezra. What do you think he said? He said, all of God's people, go back to your town and rebuild your temple. Because that God is an amazing God. Yeah. Isn't that crazy? Like, could you imagine some king, like, coming up and saying, hey, you guys used to worship over there, and it's been completely destroyed. Let's fix it up. Now, he doesn't just do that. He kind of goes above and beyond. But he makes this proclamation, and in history, and it gets recorded right here, and Ezra's a right-hand man in this whole process, which is kind of cool. So there's this decree that comes from the king, and when a king decrees something, it's kind of like law. So guess what people do? Well, they've been gone for 50 years. Like, some of the people are still alive, but some people have died. And the reason I know that is because you'll see that in chapter, I think it's like 7. No, it's in chapter 3, where when they lay the foundation for the temple, it actually speaks to that. We'll be there in just a second. But, so I got to jump to the outline really quick. The first part is really all about that decree. The decree's quite long. If you're a big history buff, think about, you get to read in history what a king decreed. Now, by the verse that I just read, one observation from that verse that I just read that it might have went through your mind very quickly, and that is, God is the one that stirred in the heart of the king. Did you guys hear that in there? That it wasn't just this king's bright idea, like, hey, these people seem pretty cool, let's be nice to them. It was God did it. That's what it notes in the scripture there, which is kind of a cool thing. Chapters 1 through 6 is the rebuilding of the temple. Pretty cool. Ezra kind of puts an account of rebuilding of the temple. That probably took like 40 years or more. It probably took quite a long time. There were things that stopped them. There was other people that didn't want it to happen, and so they didn't just mock them and say, don't do that. They actually attacked them. There could have been some issues over land and who felt like, hey, we want this land. No, we want this land. Some of it might have just been complete opposition of their faith and beating them down that way. It could have been also the idea that they're being favored in some way. That the king in some way has said, hey, and this wouldn't have been the only people that the king would have done this for, but the reality is the fact that he showed favor to somebody could have created some hostility. But either way, it took a long time. So when you think of like just a couple of chapters, 3 chapters, given to many years of construction happening on this, like they didn't have like cool bulldozers and awesome things. Like it took a long time. And so really what you get are just these like little bit snapshots of things that possibly might have transpired in just 3 chapters, which I think is crazy. I said 40 years. I'm sorry. It's about 20 years. Forgive me. I looked at my notes. Then 7 through 8. Does anybody know this question? And you can answer this if you've read it. What is Ezra? Besides a really cool band from back in the 80s. Yeah.
Is it a woman's name?
Is it a woman's name? It's not a woman's name. Ezra?
It's a guy's name.
It's a guy's name?